Hi and welcome to this introductory session to Walk the Word, where we're going to be starting a study in Philippians over the next couple of weeks. And this session is just to set the context really and help us just understand the book a little bit more before we dive into it. And so the book of Philippians was written by the Apostle Paul to the church in Philippi, Greece. And it was written around AD 61, so not long after Jesus' ministry on earth. And it was a church that he planted, okay? Paul started this church on his missionary journey, which you can read about in Acts 16. So Paul meets a lady called Lydia. Lydia gets saved and her family is saved and baptized, and they start meeting, I think, in her home. And then a bit later, Paul is thrown in prison. Basically, he meets this clairvoyant and casts out an evil spirit by which she was telling the future. And people weren't very happy about that because she was making them a lot of money. People were making money off this slave girl who could tell the future. But Paul kind of delivers her from this evil spirit. So they're out of pocket because of this. And so they're not happy about this. They get Paul and Silas, his company, the person that was with him at the time. They get them both thrown in jail, but if you know the story, some of you will, Paul and Silas are there in the prison worshipping God in the middle of the night. Even though they're in chains, they're worshipping God, and the prison doors fly open. But rather than all the prisoners running away, they stay in their cells. The jailer comes in and he can't believe what he's seen, okay? That all these prisoners, despite the doors flying open, are there in their cells, and he falls at Paul and Silas's feet and basically says, "What must I do to be saved?" And him and his whole family get saved and are added to the church in Philippi. And so this is really the backdrop of the church that Paul is writing to. This is how it got started, how it got planted. And now this church is sending Paul a gift, a guy called Epaphroditus, is been sent out from the Philippian church with a financial gift to support Paul in his ministry, because Paul once again is in prison. He's in a Roman prison, actually under house arrest in Rome, and that's the context of this letter. He has probably been there for a number of years, okay, as he's awaiting trial. And so they've sent this financial gift to Paul, and that's the context of this letter. But what's so striking about this letter really is the theme of joy. The theme of joy is so prevalent in this letter. So the word joy or rejoice is used 16 times just in 4 chapters, okay? Indicating it's a pretty big theme in the book. And it's particularly provoking when you realize that Paul is writing this from prison, okay? He doesn't quite know what his future holds. He doesn't know if he's ever going to get out. He doesn't know if he's going to be executed. He just doesn't know where his journey is going. But he's writing this book to the Philippian church, and a major theme of his book is joy. And I think it just goes to show the big idea, if you like, behind this book is that joy is not about our circumstances. Joy is not about the situations we find ourselves in life, but actually to be a Christian, to be a follower of Christ, is to know this unshakable joy that holds us fast in every circumstance, in every season, no matter what's happening on the outside. Whatever circumstances you're in, there is a hope that we have that brings us joy and we can worship God for. That's really on the inside. Joy isn't about external circumstances. Joy is about an internal understanding, if you like, that we have this hope within that is so much bigger than our circumstances. And really that is the kind of the bedrock of this book, yeah? That Paul's joy is in Christ. And just some key verses to highlight this. So Philippians 4, verse 4, he says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say it, rejoice." So he's being really clear here. Always rejoice. You've always got a reason to rejoice. Again, I say it, rejoice. This is Paul's call to the Philippian church. Keep giving God praise. Keep giving him the glory. Keep rejoicing in him. And then Philippians 4, verse 12 to 13, I think this is really key. He says, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learnt the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. And so I think that's just one of the keys to joy, is actually we're not chasing happiness through our circumstances, through all the things that the world looks to find happiness, through careers and money and job and fame and success and relationships and this, that and the other. We're not chasing happiness. No, what it's about is knowing this contentment, this deep contentment on the inside that is in Christ, that we know what we have is secure. We know what we have cannot be shaken, and that gives us a sense of contentment. And so really, Paul has learnt the secret of being content. He's understood life is about finding contentment and pursuing contentment in Christ, being happy and satisfied and content in what he has done for us, because that, at the end of the day, is the thing that will last. That is the treasure, if you like, the treasure that Jesus talks about in the field, the one thing that is worth giving up everything else for. And so we're not to be these people that chase happiness through external circumstances. Rather, we're learning the secret of what it means to be content in Christ. And that contentment is in any and every circumstances, because his love doesn't change. His grace never changes towards us. And Paul has this deep confidence, this deep hope, this deep joy that cannot be shaken no matter what is happening around him. And so that really is the kind of basis of this book, the context of this book. And I hope that you enjoy getting into this book as much as I have. We will see you again soon.